Hello, welcome to Savasana. I'm Shai, behind me is Patrice. Today we're gonna have an intermediate flow for you, so just grab your water and get on the mat and let's get into it. All right, we're gonna start seated. Open your knees out to the side with the soles of your feet together so that your legs make a diamond shape. This is commonly referred to as butterfly or Baddha Konasana in Sanskrit. All right, if you want, you can grab your ankles with your hands and use your elbows to allow your knees to fall further and further towards the mat. Just starting to get into our hips here. And then when you've found kind of some comfort in maybe a little discomfort, allow yourself to close your eyes. Start to focus on the breath. Inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose. And for the rest of practice, continuing that breath work in and out through your nose, doing long, deep, and slow breaths with each movement, finding some rhythm, finding a pace. And remember to always return to the breath when you find yourself experiencing a little tension in a posture or a little bit of distraction in your mind. And now while we're sitting here with our eyes closed, I would like you to set an intention either for your practice or for your day or even for your life. It can be big, it can be small. Just something to think about for a moment. And then let that go. Open your eyes. Extend your legs out to either side. So coming into a wide V or maybe even wider with your legs. Get your spine really long here. So you have a really long line from your root to your crown as if you're being pulled by a string from the ceiling. Flex your feet towards your face. Knees point up at the ceiling. Our femur bones are externally rotating here from our hips. So we're opening our hips here. Just breathe as we sit in this pose, engaging our core to keep us lifted and engaging our legs to keep that external rotation. Since it's the beginning of practice, it's your choice if you want to stay here or if you want to practice walking your hands a little further out in front of you, trying to find some length in your spine and some depth in the posture. Purely optional at this point. And if you do walk forward on your hands, just make sure you're keeping that external rotation going. You're keeping those knees pointed up the ceiling, the feet pointed up, and those feet flexed in towards your face. I'm just going to stay right here, right now, where I feel this length in my spine. I don't want to curve over. I just want to find length and find depth, feeling a good deep stretch. Continue to breathe, inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Maybe you find yourself able to go a little further after a few breaths in this posture. You can walk down onto your forearms if you wish. You can always walk your hands all the way out if you're already ready to be there. That's fine. Just do what you feel good in your body doing. All right, slowly walk your hands back to center. Bring your hands underneath your knees and allow your hands to help you as you bend your knees and pull them in towards center. Then bring your hands to rest on top of your knees. So soles of the feet are on the mat. You can have your feet hips width distance here. Keep your hands really pressed firmly on the fronts of your knees. Inhale as you pull your chest forward towards your thighs, opening your heart, slightly looking up for a seated cow pose. Exhale as you round your spine back, holding onto those knees and pulling that belly in and tucking the chin for seated cat. Inhale, come forward, chest to knees. Exhale, round your spine back. Tuck your chin. Inhale, come forward, extend your spine, open your heart. Exhale, round back, pulling that tummy in, finding some flexion. Inhale as you come forward, extending the spine. And exhale as you round back, flexing the spine. Inhale, come forward, knees to chest. And exhale, come back, rounding the spine. One more round. Inhale, come forward. And exhale, round back. Come to neutral. Plant your hands on the side of your body and just roll to the side and come to a tabletop position facing the short edge of your mat. Keep your hands right under your shoulders here. So your wrists, elbows, and shoulders line up, one line. Knees and hips line up, one line. Find a long spine here, so neutral, one long line from your crown to your tailbone. All right, tuck your toes under and pushing your weight into your hands and into your toes, hover your knees up and stay there for a moment. Hover those knees, just engage as you hold. And then with your next breath, inhale as you push those hips up and back, coming in a down dog with bent knees. Put a deeper bend in those knees to get the hips up really high, pointing that tailbone up at the ceiling. Finding length in your spine, wrapping your triceps in towards your ears. Pushing into the mat with all 10 fingers and the palms of your hands. And slightly internally rotating the forearms. Find length as you push the mat away and try to bring the chest closer to your thighs. And now start to straighten your left leg. Keep your right leg bent. Find the hamstring stretch in your left leg. Bend the left leg, straighten the right leg. And switch. Inhale, bend the right leg, straighten the left leg. Exhale. Inhale, straighten the right leg, bend the left leg. And exhale. Switch again, keep breathing. Make sure your head is hanging heavy here. Switch. And then come to neutral, trying to reach both heels down towards the mat, finding a nice deep length in your down dog. And on your next inhale, move your shoulders forward so they come over your wrists, coming into plank pose. Hold your plank for 3 breaths. Inhale and exhale. Really push the mat away. Inhale, exhale. Pull that tummy into your spine. One more inhale and exhale. Take an inhale. Move your shoulders a little more forward and exhale, chaturanga, lower halfway down. Hold it and then lower all the way to the mat. Untuck your toes. Bring your hands out in front of you. Inhale as you lift your head, your heart, your shoulders. Keep your hands grounded here. Push the fingertips into the mat and push the tops of your feet into the mat. Take a couple more breaths here. Inhale and exhale. So you're lifting your shoulders up, your elbows are lifted. Fingertips push into the mat in front of you. And exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Keep your arms outstretched. Let's take a breath here. And then on your next inhale, lift your head, your heart, your shoulders. Really push the tops of the feet into the mat to lift the kneecaps. Push your fingertips into the mat. Maybe walk the fingertips back a little bit. Just try to stay on your fingertips here and not on your entire hand. Take one more breath here. And then lower to the mat, keeping those hands stretched out. Let your knees relax, let your feet relax. Take another breath. And on our third round here, let's inhale as we lift our head, our heart, our shoulders. Walk your hands back, come onto the fingertips. Push the tops of the feet into the mat to lift the kneecaps. Finally, start to lift the feet up. And now start to lift the arms. Can you raise your biceps up next to your ears? Take another breath. Come up a little higher. And then lower to the mat. Walk your hands back beside your chest. Push your hands into the mat to lift up into tabletop position. Then start to walk your hands forward on the mat, keeping your hips over your knees. Bring your elbows down to the mat, and then bring your forehead down to the mat for puppy. Stay here, or if you want to take it a little bit further and you know you're ready to, you can always lower your chin to the mat, bringing your chest down to the mat. One more breath. Then push your forehead into the mat to lift your elbows. Walk your hands back a little bit, then lift your forehead up. Continue walking your hands back all the way. So you're in tabletop. Tuck your toes under. Push the mat away to lift your kneecaps up. Hold it here. And on your next inhale, send your hips up and back to down dog. Inhale and exhale. Inhale as you bend your knees and look forward. Exhale, step, or if you're ready, hop to the top of the mat in between your hands, coming into a forward fold. Hold on your exhale, and let's actually take a couple more breaths here in our forward fold. Let your head hang heavy. Have a micro bend in your knees. Maybe nod your head yes or no a few times. Maybe grab opposite elbows. Find a tiny sway. And then release your hands, and on your next inhale, slowly roll up to standing. Keep that bend in your knees as you roll up so that your head is the last thing to lift. Arms come by your sides for mountain pose or Tadasana. So good. Inhale, bring your arms overhead. Exhale, hinge forward and fold. Inhale, halfway lift, elongate your spine. Exhale, fold, plant your palms and step to plank or hop straight to chaturanga. If you're in plank, lower to chaturanga. Inhale, take cobra, up dog, back bend of choice. Exhale, send your hips up and back as you tuck your toes and come into down dog. Inhale as you bend your knees, look forward, step or hop to the top of the mat, forward fold. Exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand with a flat back, arms come overhead. Exhale, arms come by your sides. Inhale, arms come overhead. Exhale, hips sit back and down, chair pose. Breathe as you hold your chair. Wrap your ribs in. Send your tailbone towards the mat, shooting it down. Keep breathing. One more breath here. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold and step back to plank or hop straight to chaturanga. If you're in plank, lower to chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, hips go up and back as you tuck your toes for down dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up behind you. Bend the right knee and open the right hip up so you're pointing the right knee towards the right wall or up towards the ceiling. Try to keep your chest centered here though. The chest hasn't moved open, just the leg. Maybe do some circles at your ankle here, moving your foot in and around, and then the other direction, out and around. If you want, you can flip your dog here, pushing your left hand into the mat, releasing your right foot behind you down on the mat, picking up the right hand and shooting it up and over for that back bend. And then coming back to three-legged dog if you're in a flipped dog. Everybody square off your hips. Keep your right knee bent, shift forward and bring that right knee to your nose. Then set the right foot down in between your hands. Good. From here, I want you to start to scoot that right foot over towards your right hand. Pick the right hand up and put it on your right knee. Move the left hand in a little bit and make sure the left palm is on the mat. Now start to turn the right foot outward to the right. Your hip will come down so that your whole torso turns toward the right wall. And you can actually walk that right foot down the mat a little bit more towards your center. You're going to get a stretch here in your outer hips and on your inner thigh of your left leg. Just breathe here in this awkward little pose, coming onto the outside edge of your left foot. So Patrice, can you roll onto the outer edge of the back foot? Yeah, then you'll get deeper into the twist. You might have to walk your front foot back a little bit more. Just breathe here. Pushing the right hand into the right knee, opening the chest up. And then slowly return your right hand to the mat, coming onto the ball of the left foot, turn the right foot forward and move it back inside so that it comes to the inside of your right hand. Good. Breathe here and then start to release that left heel onto the mat, turning the left toes outward. Inhale as you lift your torso up, raise your arms, warrior one. Back foot is pointed to the top left corner of the mat. Front foot is facing forward and your front knee is bent. Try to get your hips square here and just breathe. Bring your hands behind you. Clasp all 10 fingers together and pull down as you open your heart. On your exhale, bow forward, bringing your torso onto the inside of your bent right knee. Bring your arms up overhead behind you. Humble warrior. Good. Take another breath here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Release your hands down onto the mat. Pivot onto the ball of your back foot. Release the left knee to the mat and untuck the left toes. Walk your hands back slightly, then lift your torso up and raise your arms for Anjaneyasana. 2 right angles with your legs here, 90 degrees in both legs. Pulling those femur bones up and in towards your midline and sucking your ribs in so that you can engage your core. Good. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale, release your hands to the mat, framing your right foot. Start to flex the right foot towards your face and then start to slide the right heel out in front of you. Coming into Ardha Hanumanasana, half splits pose. Once you've found what feels like a good stretch for you, stay there and maybe walk your hands forward on the mat, bringing your torso a little closer to your extended right leg. You can always extend this fully into splits if that's in your practice. There's no need to, but if you feel like sliding all the way forward and coming down into your splits, that's okay. All right, if you're in the splits or half splits, start to pull your right heel back a little bit so you can bend the right knee again. Then walk your right foot out to the edge of the mat, the right edge, bringing the right hand to the inside of the right foot. Now slide your left knee back on the mat, getting a much deeper hip stretch here. Really wide and low lunge on the side for lizard pose. So stay in lizard on your palms, or you can release your forearms onto the mat. That'll make it a little bit deeper. So take whichever option feels good in your body. If you're on your forearms, come back onto your palms. All right, from here I want you to tuck your left toes under and pick up the left knee. Now start to walk your hands to the left towards the front of the room, or the side of the room rather, and then bend your right knee pretty deeply, coming into a side lunge, lifting your torso up, lifting your chest. Maybe bring your hands to heart center and flex that left foot towards your face. You don't have to be this low. You can be a lot higher if that's in your practice. It's whatever feels good in your body right now. So a side right lunge. All right, bring your hands back to the mat. Push them into the mat as you walk your hands towards the front of the room again, coming back into that low, low lunge. From here, I want you to start to heel toe your right foot over to the left, and then put the right knee down onto the mat. Slide that right heel in towards your midline and allow your left knee to come down to the mat. Untuck your left toes, pigeon pose. If you can bring your right shin parallel to the mat, please do so. But for most people, including me, it's a little more comfortable to have the right heel in towards the midline. Take a couple breaths here. Inhale and exhale. Maybe walk your hands forward, bowing your torso over your bent right knee. Try to keep your hips square here. Don't let your right hip come down onto the mat and lift the left hip up. You want them both even. All right, walk your hands back so that you lift your torso up. Tuck your left toes under and lift the left knee. As you push the mat away, lift the right knee up, lift the right foot, and step that right foot back in between your hands. Hold it here, and then inhale as you lift up your torso and raise your arms, coming into crescent pose. Good. Keep breathing. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale, spin your left heel down as you open up to the left, coming into warrior two. Arms come to a T. Check for heel to arch alignment. Front heel lined up with the middle of the back foot. Push the outside of the back foot into the mat so you're really engaging both legs. Take another breath. Inhale, flip your right palm up, and then exhale, lean back as you release your left hand onto your left leg. Right arm comes overhead, reverse warrior. On your next exhale, spin your hands down, cartwheeling them onto the mat, coming onto the ball of your left foot. Step your right foot back to meet your left. Chaturanga on your exhale. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, hips go up and back. Down dog. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Bend the left knee and open the left hip. Maybe do some circles with your left foot. Just warming up the ankle a little bit. Stay here, or if you want to flip your dog, push your weight into your right hand as you step your left foot behind you. Lift your hips up, send your left arm up and over, pointing to the front of the room, coming into the back bend. If you're in flip dog, turn back over, come to three-legged dog, and everyone square off your hips. Keep the left knee bent, and now on your inhale, come forward as you bring your left knee to your nose and then step the left foot down in between your hands. Good. Hold here. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Just getting into that hip a little bit. So now start to heel toe your left foot out to this left edge of the mat. Bring your left hand to the inside of your left foot and start to really push the weight into your right hand as you open your torso to the left. Bring your left hand on top of your left knee and scoot that left foot down into your midline a little bit and turning the left foot outward. You can push your left hand into the knee and roll onto the back outer edge of your right foot. Kind of finding this funky twist here that gets into our hips and other areas that we may not get into in a regular crescent lunge. Open your chest. Take another breath. Then release your left hand to the mat. Come back onto the ball of the back foot and heel toe that left foot in, bringing it to the inside of your left hand, finding a low crescent lunge again. All right, so now I want you to release your right heel onto the mat, pointing those right toes up and outward at the top right corner of the mat. Find your stability in your legs and then lift your torso up and raise your arms for warrior one. Inhale and exhale. Make sure your hips are square here and try to keep your pelvis from tilting. Try to keep it straight up and down. Bring your hands behind your back. Clasp all 10 fingers together. As you inhale, pull those hands down as you lift your heart up. Find the back bend. And then exhale, bow forward, bringing your torso onto the inside of your bent left knee. Arms come up overhead. Inhale. And exhale into your humble warrior. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale as you release your hands down onto the mat, turning onto the ball of your right foot. Lower your right knee onto the mat. Untuck your right toes. Make sure you've got 2 right angles with your legs. And now lift your torso up, raise your arms, Anjaneyasana, hugging your core in, engaging your glutes, engaging your thighs and your core. Take another breath. On your exhale, release your hands down to the mat, framing the left foot. Now start to slide that left foot out in front of you and flex the left foot towards your face, Ardha Hanumanasana. Keep sliding that left heel a little further and stay here in half splits, lowering your torso down over your extended left leg, maybe walking the hands out in front. If you want to go a little deeper, feel free to continue sliding that left heel forward, coming into maybe almost full splits or full splits. Keep your hips square facing the front of the room. However far you go, you don't want to open the hips up to the side and compromise the integrity of the pose. All right, wherever you are, start to pull that left heel back in towards center so that you can bend the left knee. Bring the left hand to the inside of the left foot and start to heel toe that left foot towards the outer edge of the mat. Now slide the back knee back on the mat, coming a little deeper. That left knee should be stacked right above the left ankle. Stay here in lizard. You can either stay on your palms or you can lower your forearms to the mat. Up to you which version you want to take. Always go with what feels right in your body, in your practice. One more breath. Then walk your hands back a little bit. Tuck your right toes under and lift your right knee up. Now we're going to start to walk our hands to the right, taking a quarter turn, and maybe heel toeing that left foot in a little bit. Now keep the left knee bent, the right leg is straight, and then start to, if you're low enough, flex the right foot towards your face, or just stay up a little higher. Come into your side lunge on the left, Skandasana. Either coming down low or staying up high, but either way, trying to lift your chest and get deep into the left hip. Take another breath. Then lower your hands to the mat and start walking your hands towards the front of the room again, framing that left foot, coming onto the ball of your back foot. Good. Now start to heel toe your left foot in towards your right wrist. Then you can lower your left knee down onto the mat and slide that left heel in towards your midline. Release the right knee onto the mat, untuck the back right toes, find pigeon pose. Keeping the hips square. Maybe deciding to walk your hands forward and bow over your bent left knee. Take another breath here. Then walk your hands back towards your midline. Tuck your right toes under as you lift your right knee, then push the mat away with your hands so you can lift your left knee up and your left foot and step the left foot back in between your hands. Now we're going to release our right heel onto the mat and cartwheel our arms up and open to a T, coming into Warrior Two. Back foot is parallel to the short edge of the mat, and you might have to heel toe that front foot in so you have heel to arch alignment. Inhale as you flip your left palm up. Exhale, releasing your right hand to your right thigh, lifting the left arm up and over into reverse warrior. On your next exhale, cartwheel your arms to the mat, coming onto the ball of your right foot, framing the left foot with your hands. Step the left foot back to meet the right. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, hips go up and back, tuck your toes, down dog. Inhale, lift your knees, lift your heels, bend your knees, Look forward. Exhale, step or hop to the top of the mat. Take your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand with the flat back. Arms come overhead. Exhale, release your arms by your sides. Inhale, arms come overhead. Exhale, sit your hips down into chair. Hold your chair and breathe. Really wrap those ribs in, engage your core, point the tailbone towards the mat. And then on your next exhale, bow forward, hinging into a forward fold, straightening your legs. Bend your knees, plant your palms on the mat, step your right foot to the outside of your right hand and your left foot to the outside of your left hand. Turn all 10 toes outward. Now sit your hips down, lift your torso up, chest comes up. Bring your hands to heart center with your elbows pushing onto the insides of your knees, opening up into Malasana, Yogi squat. Good, keep breathing. Take another breath. Can you extend your arms out in front of you and stay in this squat? You don't have to, it's just an option. You can keep your hands exactly as they are. Now, can you lower your hips back behind you, sitting down, and bring your knees out in front of you, just coming into a seat on the mat. Otherwise, just find yourself into a seated position in whatever manner feels good and right in your body. All right, come to maybe a little bit down the mat, 3/4 of the way, so that you can extend your legs long on the mat. Bend your right knee and open it out to the side. Place the sole of the right foot onto the inside of the left leg. Inhale as you bring your arms overhead. And exhale, bow forward over your extended left leg. Janu Sirsasana, head to knee pose. So we're working here on getting our forehead to our knee. On your next inhale, start to walk your hands back towards your midline, and let's switch legs. So extend the right leg out, bend the left leg, open it out to the side, place the sole of the left foot onto the inside of the right thigh. Arms come up on your inhale, exhale, bow forward. Keep breathing as you stretch. Then walk your hands back in towards your midline. Extend both legs out on the mat and simply roll back down onto your backs. Bend your knees in and have them about hips width distance. We're going to come up into bridge. Push your feet into the mat as you slowly start to peel your tailbone up, your lower back up, your mid back up, pushing your hips up towards the ceiling. Try to find a stacking of your knees right over your ankles. Push up really nice and high with those hips. And then exhale, roll back down. We're going to take one more. You can take bridge again, or you could take wheel. Either way, we get into it the same way. For starters, we push our feet into the mat, peeling up our tailbone, our lower back, our mid back. If you're taking wheel, then your hands are by your ears with your fingertips pointed by your shoulders. And now when the lower part of your body is lifted, you can push into the mat with your hands to lift your shoulders and your head. Maybe walk your feet back, finding a smaller wheel. And then slowly roll yourself down, either from bridge or wheel, starting with the top of your vertebra to the bottom. Tailbone comes down, knees knock in. Bring both knees into your chest. Give them a big squeeze. Extend your left leg long on the mat. Grab the outside of your right knee with your left hand and allow your right arm to come all the way out to a T to the side, or you can have it like a cactus or a goalpost. With your left hand, pull that right knee across your body, down to the mat, getting a spinal twist here. Try to melt your right shoulder blade down onto the mat. And breathe. Come back to center. Switch legs, extend the right leg long, bend the left knee into your chest. Grab the outside of the left knee with your right hand as you bring your left arm to a T or to a cactus. Pull the left knee across the body to the right, coming into your spinal twist. Melting that left shoulder down onto the mat. Inhale, come back to center. Extend both legs long on the mat and release your arms by your sides. Allow the feet to flop open, palms face up, and just relax. Let everything go. And find some rest in our final resting pose, Savasana. And slowly bring your awareness back into the space. Maybe moving your fingers, your toes. And then in whatever way feels good to you, make your way to a seated position. Either rolling up or rolling to one side and pushing up. Take a seat that feels comfortable to you. Keep your eyes closed. Inhale as you bring your arms overhead. Exhale, palms come to touch, and then bring them down in front of your heart center. Take a moment to reconnect with your intention that you set at the beginning of practice and think about whether you will carry that with you for the rest of the day, whether you've completed it, whether it's something that will always be with you, or whether it's something that will not. All of that is okay. Thank you for practicing with us today. Namaste.